At first, I think it was scary to me because I was actually sharing a part of me that is so vulnerable. But when it became more and more liberating, I think people can really see that coming out of me that I feel liberated. So it inspires them to actually, okay, what can I do in order for me to be liberated? Maybe not through dance, but through other kind of outlet. But it really is becoming something that I love to do in public because that can inspire others to probably liberate themselves in probably other forms. And disclaimer, actually, I stopped dancing a while ago, probably, I don't know, when I was like 27. So 7 years was the max of a dancing era. And every time, sometimes I just got back like dancing in my room or just like jamming to a song. It still feels like it's liberating magically. I don't know how, but yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Treat the Heels podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and today our guest is coming all the way from Jakarta, Indonesia. Today, I'm welcoming Adinda Nindyachandra.
Okay.
Adinda, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Ryan.
It's a pleasure having you, and it's great to see the work that you do. I see that you are very busy giving talks for all over, giving talks about personal branding, leadership, and empowerment. Also, I see that you are the CEO of Ask Ara Berkarya. We're going to get into that, but first, can you tell us a bit about the work that you do with Ask Ara Berkarya?
So Ascara is actually initially founded in 2020 during the pandemic. So basically, it was supposed to be a musical theater company. But when the pandemic hits, we were just like, okay, we need to pivot the business model because we cannot do like live theater. So then we're doing like online shows and all that. And after the pandemic passed, it's just basically a B2B kind of model for us. So we're actually offering performances for institutions and brands. And recently this year, we just had our first ever live theater show. So that's basically what we do, creating performances for people.
Okay, so that sounds very fascinating. Let me ask you now, what got you involved in doing this positive work?
Originally, I was a dancer before, like probably 10 years, 15 years ago. And then after that, I realized something. In Indonesia, we have a lot of artists, but not so much of a producer. So there are creative people like just roaming around without people to manage them. So that really inspires me to become an arts manager. And therefore, I took a course in arts and cultural management to actually kickstart my career in being a producer. And I think it has always been nice to be able to contribute in being in something that is very special, that is musical theater.
And what was it that pulled your heart from being a dancer to get into creativity in a way that you can help produce and help others also find their passion for creativity?
Is actually seeing how sometimes artists are very disorganized with budgeting, with like scheduling and management and all that. And I do really think that artists primarily focus should be on creating stuff instead of worrying about managing it. So I think with me being a producer, I really hope that I could contribute something into the performing arts ecosystem. I hope that's not too high of a hope, but yeah.
Okay, and for you, what was it that pulled you into creativity in the first place? Like, what was your
Yeah.
personal relationship with dance and music and the whole arts?
Couldn't really remember, but I think I was really fascinated with dance back when I was like 20. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna dive in without any background or anything. And then, long story short, I was dancing for like 7 years. And then after that, I was just like, okay, probably this is it. This is the end of my dancing era. And then I decided to be a producer. But something about dance that truly moves me is how movements are able to convey messages. And I do think that it's more powerful than actual words. I don't know whether that makes sense, but to me, at that time, it makes so much sense. So there are so many things back then that I think a lot of people couldn't really say through words, but they can say it through movements and how people do it from ideation up until the execution of a choreography. I think it has always been something that is fascinating to me, the whole creative process.
And you said something so, I think, so deep that sometimes words cannot express what maybe the body is expressing through movements. Since it is quite difficult to express with words, can you perhaps walk us through what were you expressing through your movements in dance, or what was your soul expressing during those acts?
Honestly, I think I do have a lot of unsaid feelings. It's as if rage, sadness, and all that. And I think every time I dance, I don't know how to say this without exaggerating it, but dance really, really liberates me in some way. I think the most authentic form that I could ever been was when I was back as a dancer. Because when you dance, you just cannot lie. When you perform, you just cannot lie. Your movement will tell you whether you're an open person or you are full of rage or you are full of sadness. And I think that's the beauty of it. The authenticity of the movement itself, you just cannot lie. And that's why artists are so beautiful, I think.
And you said that you started dancing at what age?
20, but I actually danced way before, like
Okay.
in elementary school, but not for, not for rigorous training. But I start rigorous training back when I was like 20. Yes.
Okay, so at 20, you start doing this rigorous training, this really deep training for dance. Can you
Mhm.
walk us through what was it like for your body and your mind? Because as you said before, there are some words that can't come out. But here with dancing, it's like you are expressing yourself. So what did that feel like when you saw that dance wasn't just an art, but it was an expression?
I think it became a safe haven for me. I did remember that dance really helped me through some tough times, and it just really, really saved me in a way when words fail, when emotions fail, but movements just works. So every time I think, oh, I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that, I turn everything into choreography. And sometimes I could use it for my own benefit. Sometimes we showcase it in like a small kind of what we say small scale kind of shows, or just basically record it and then post it online. So it become an outlet of my emotions. And I think when I translate all of my feelings through movements, I become free and I become, I think, more at ease at some point.
And without dance, how was your relation to expressing yourself? Do you think it was healthy, or maybe it just wasn't at the level that it needed to be?
It wasn't at the level that I needed to be. I think back then when I was like 20 to like 25, I repressed a lot of emotions because I think, oh, life is hard, but then if in order to get through, I cannot just be sad the whole time. So I repress my emotions without acknowledging it, without attuning to each and every single emotion. I can really say that I don't really have a so much of a good emotional awareness back then, but I do think dance really helped me sustain my emotional awareness because at that time I don't really have people to go to. I mean, I was born as an only child, so normally I'm a lone wolf. I don't really have people to, tell stories to. So dance really, really helped me convey what cannot be said, honestly.
And was it scary for you getting into dance, not just elementary dance, but here you are really taking this in a professional mindset? How was that jump for you? Because for me, I'd probably be terrified, especially if I'm going to dance in public. But here we hear you just shining and sharing about the positivities behind it.
I think at first I think it was scary to me because I was actually sharing a part of me that is so vulnerable, but when it became more and more liberating, I think people can really see that coming out of me that I feel liberated. So it inspires them to actually, okay, what can I do in order for me to be liberated? Maybe not through dance, but through other kind of outlet. But it really is becoming something that I love to do in public because that can inspire others to probably liberate themselves in probably other forms. And disclaimer, actually, I stopped dancing a while ago, probably, I don't know, when I was like 27. So 7 years was the max of a dancing era. And every time, sometimes I just got back like dancing in my room or just like jamming to a song. It still feels like it's liberating magically. I don't know how, but yeah,
And
that's all.
how has dancing opened new doors for you?
Oh my God. I think when coming to dance, I do really, it opened up a lot of opportunities. I got to visit United States for the first time because of dancing. So it was actually on a cultural mission from Indonesia that my dance school attended. And then they brought me to New York, Seattle, Philadelphia for like a whole 3 weeks just dancing and promoting Indonesian culture. And I think dance really opens up my horizons in terms of like seeing myself, in terms of seeing the world, and also experiencing life at the other part of the world.
Okay, and what kind of dance do you do? I haven't asked you this, but like, is it break dance? Is it something else? I don't know.
I wish. So normally I started with contemporary and then theater jazz, but in order for like the cultural mission, like I just mentioned to you, going to the United States and promotes our Indonesian culture, we learn traditional contemporary. So we're mixing our traditional dances with contemporary touches, so it becomes more modern for the audience to watch.
Okay, and so now I wanted to ask you, how was it like for you from not dancing, now you're dancing, but then now you're producing and helping people also find their light. How was that jump for you?
Wow, at first it was really hard, Ryan. I mean, because we're artists and we're so used to be under the spotlight, and then you have to kind of quote unquote step back and be on backstage. It felt weird at times that after a show, people don't really look for you, they don't really congratulate you, and you were busy managing things here and there, running here and there. It was tough at first. I think for the first 2, 3 years, it was really tough to make sense that, oh my God, I'm not a performer anymore. People don't really congratulate me or seek for me after a show. I'm just like this invisible hands that make the show work. But after time, I do think that if they praise my choreographer, if they praise the movements, if they praise the set designs, that was because of me. I need to set that validation for myself. So when no one else is saying anything for me, I would be complete on my own. So I was just like, okay, if the show is going well, it was because of you. So you don't need to worry whether people are not looking for you, or no one congratulate you. But it felt weird and sad at first, honestly.
And what helped you get through that? Because sometimes when people hit a wall, they'll s- many times they'll stop. But here you are still going. So what kept you to continue?
Um, Honestly, because I think I'm a pretty stubborn and persistent person. I just, I think I just know that there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. It wouldn't feel like this forever. But what got me through is definitely my parents. I'm very, very privileged and grateful to have such supportive parents that comes to every single show even when I'm not performing. So they will come and they will be like, "Okay, we're going to wait for you to come out after you manage everything." And that is enough for me. I found the definition of sufficient and enough for me. And also what kept me going, when people ask me, "What do you want to be a producer for, performances or musical theater?" Honestly, because that's the closest I can get to the stage. So being a producer is enough for me because I know I have to be realistic that in terms of being a dancer, you have to have a set kind of skills, and also you need to have the tenacity for it. And not everyone can actually born to be a dancer and then have a long, fulfilling career. It takes tenacity, just like other careers as well. But I do think just by being a producer of performances, that can, kind of put me into the radar of being with the artist and being inside the performance. And I think that's enough for me.
Nice. So thank you for sharing your whole creative journey and the beauty of expression and also connection. Now I wanted to get into your insights on three things that I see on your Instagram profile on the bio, which I think are
Yeah.
very important to maybe talk about. And that is number one, you have personal branding. Two
Sure.
is leadership, and three is empowerment. So can you walk us through why did you choose these three things and why are they important for you?
Okay, so as for personal branding, honestly, this aspect is the most current of all three aspects that is on my Instagram bio. I do think that right now the job market in Indonesia is actually plummeting, so it's getting harder and harder to find jobs. And I do think personal branding could be a bridge for people to know you better, as in increasing your visibility and showcasing your talent. Because at the end of the day, if you do not have the uniqueness within you, or you do not have the bravery to showcase your talent, be it in reality or on social media, it's getting harder for people to notice you. And I mean, we know that like corporates, empires, they receive thousands of CVs every day. That's the whole process. But then how would you be the one that gets the opportunity? I think personal branding can be something of an advantage that people could have. And that's why right now I do think it is it is kind of my job to inspire people with what I have within me, because I have like 8 years background in marketing and creative industry and events also. And I do think personal branding is something that would really take people into another level as for that. And for leadership, obviously, because I have been grateful to be trusted in several leadership positions, I do think I do have a lot of experiences to share, which will help aspiring leaders or fresh graduates to have the fear of being a leader, but do it anyway. I do not want to tell people to like, be brave. I think that's just bullshit, honestly, to me. I think befriending your fear is the number one quality that you should have, because you have to just have the fear and actually still do it, because no one is gonna, help you come out to get you. So leadership is that. And for empowerment, I do think that a lot of people are lonely these days. Every time I open TikToks and then found like the first 10 comments, people would be like, "Oh, I wish I'm loved like this. Oh, I'm so lonely." And I was like, okay, I do not like seeing this, and I think I can help through whatever I have within me. I like to write, and sometimes I just have this, words of empowerment just like banging in my head. I was like, why not I share it to the world? Probably it could help one person at a time. I mean, I'm nowhere near being a super mega giga influencer or content creator, but honestly, every time a person DM me that said, "Oh, we love your post because you inspire us to do this," or "This helps me get through the day," that actually is more impactful than just all the numbers
Mhm.
on social media, honestly.
And empowerment. Why is that important for you?
I think growing up, I do not feel empowered. So honestly, all those things, the personal branding, the leadership, the empowerment, is everything that I actually need to give back to myself
Mhm.
because I didn't know how to personal brand. I used to not know it. And then I didn't know how to lead. I didn't know how to empower myself. In fact, I started with a very low self-worth because in elementary school, I was bullied big time. And sometimes, up until now, I feel like I'm not part of the cool kids, you know? Like in Mean Girls, you have the Regina George and, bands of
Yeah.
girls. I never felt like I'm that kind of girl. So I feel very left out most of the time. So I need to find ways to empower myself. And I'm very lucky to have very supportive parents that constantly empower me every day. And I do think a lot of their teachings, a lot of their words really resonate with me. So I think it could help others as well. And I read a lot of self-help books that can actually, all of the knowledge can be passed on to other people as well. So everything that I give out is actually everything that I used to need or still need, if I might say.
Beautiful. And we already touched earlier about you being a CEO. Can you tell us about this project that you're doing and where people can also find more about you?
Okay. So actually, as a CEO, of course, it's tough being a leader and like to have all this decision making. And initially, Askara was born. So it's Askara. So Askara was born in 2020. And then it was originally for us three. Initially, we have three co-founders. So it was two of my friends alongside with me, but along the way, in the 5 years of development from 2020 to 2025, we drifted apart, of course, just like same old entrepreneur journey, we just drifted apart. And so, yeah, but still, Ascana continues to, provide services for entertainment, specifically for institutions, for brands, or even for individuals. Our main goal is actually to help people see light within the story that comes out on stage and find it in themselves and help them to be more hopeful. So if ever you guys want to check out what we do on YouTube, you can check out at Askara Productions. It's Askara Productions. Or if you want to check on Instagram, you can check out Askara Berkarya, Askaraberkarya.
Perfect. So those who are watching or those who are listening, if you missed that, I'll be leaving the links in the show notes so you can check it out and also find out more things that Adinda is posting on her Instagram. Before we go, I have a question that I ask all of my guests, and that is, Adinda, what is your truth that heals?
The truth that heals would be you have to have the fear and do it anyway. All my life, I have a lot of fear within myself, and I regret not befriending it. So I really want to say to all of the people out there, it healed me to know that I could still walk beside my fear and still do the things and function every day. So if today you're afraid, instead, don't be scared. Be inspired to do more things. Just befriend the fear. It wouldn't go away, but do not let it take the steering wheel. You are the captain of your life. So just be friends with the fear and do the things that you are meant to do anyway.
Well, thank you so much, Adinda. And to those who are watching or listening, go ahead and subscribe, like this episode, and please share so that other people can listen to the beautiful truth that heals of our guest today, Adinda Nindyachandra. So thank you so much, Adinda, for being a guest on my
Thank you, Ryan.
podcast, The Truth That Heals.
Thank you so much, Ryan.